Welcome back to Adventures with Dice. I'm Rob, and I'm your host for these videos. This is episode 5 of Adventures with Dice Solo. And we are, might be wrapping this one up today because of the way I came to the ending. I started playing this on December 4th, but life has just been so busy with Christmas and everything, I haven't been able to sit down and do the video for the ending until now. But it's going to be a little bit different ending than the way I've done the other videos. If you haven't watched the other videos, they're all on a playlist. Feel free to go back and watch them to catch up on the story so far. But basically what I do is I go through and play through the story up to a certain point, and then when we get to a cliffhanger ending, I start doing rolls live on the video and see where we're at, and then I use that to set up the next video. So this one ended up a little bit different. So I am going to go through everything. This may be a little bit longer video. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not going to go back and recap everything. All I will say is that episode 4 left me with a pretty strange question to work out. I only know two things for sure. I know that Corin has feelings for Elwyn, her contact and friend. And I know that the event that happens that night while she's in town is something that Elwyn is involved in. Now, my clues at the end of last session to the event were search transformed person. And at first I thought, well, maybe Elwyn's a werewolf too, right? But I took some time to think it over, and I don't know, that just seems a bit contrived or a bit silly at first. And so I decided to dig a little deeper into Elwyn and see what I could come up with. So I turned to the fate chart, or fortune chart, and I said, is the transformed person searching for Corin? Like maybe the werewolves had come to town looking for her. I rolled. It was a 3. No. Okay, so it's not them. Went back to the fortune chart. Is the transformed person seeking for Elwyn, or searching for Elwyn? He's involved in this event, so I figured it was likely. I rolled 1 and a 3, so both are no. I said, okay, so I go back to, is Elwyn a werewolf? And then I roll 50-50, and it's a 5. Yes. So, okay, I guess we're going with that. He is a werewolf. So, go back to the fortune chart, and I said, does Corin know Elwyn is a werewolf? And I figure it's likely because they both have feelings for each other. They're very close contacts. It's possible that she knows, so I rolled, got a 3 and a 6, which is an extreme yes. So that led me to looking at a little more deeply into Elwyn as far as his background and becoming a werewolf. So I did a few rolls, but mostly it was piecing together what sounded interesting. And I'm going to give you, the viewers, this background on him as well. Elwyn has never pursued a relationship with Corin because of his condition, his lycanthropy. That is what keeps them apart. Werewolves, in my world, now keep in mind in Old Sword's Reign, this book here, it just simply says that they are like the werewolves of the movies. So I kind of took that and went with it as my own description for them. But werewolves can change into wolfman form every night by choice, where they have mostly control. But on the full moon, they lose all control and they become vicious beasts. Elwyn chains himself up in a crypt outside of town on the full moon and the night before and after, as it is very hard but not impossible to control the change on those nights. He has lost control on the full moon before, when he was first turned and infected 4 years ago. So he was originally part of a traveling acting troupe. They were attacked on the road one night by a pack of werewolves. He was the only survivor, wounded in the attack. However, it left him infected. But he didn't know until the following month when he changed on the full moon. And he ended up killing everyone on the farm where he had been resting and healing. So this farm, the farmer's family had actually found him after the attack, after he was attacked, nearly dead by the side of the road, and they took him in. And they were kind of, nursing him back to health and helping him to heal and rest and everything. Well, he changed, not knowing he was a werewolf on the full moon, following full moon, and he killed everybody. The guilt that he feels over what he did to them that night haunts him to this day. He has since taken to a life of drinking, gambling, and thievery to survive, as he lives his life in the shadows now. A far cry from standing in the spotlight performing on a stage, and he has told Corin all of this. So, Elwyn is not just a contact. He's an ally, a love interest, and someone that Corin knows very well. So she heads out into town that night, or that evening, in search of Elwyn. She knows his haunts, dive bars, taverns, and such that he spends his time in. So I went to the fortune chart and said, does Corin track Elwyn down? I figure it's likely because she knows him so well. I rolled and got a 6 and a 6. So wow, 2 extreme yeses. She finds him at a inn called the Tilted Goat, which I got that name from the Table Fables 1. And they take a secluded table in the back corner, and she fills him in on everything that has happened so far. So I rolled my emotion die for Elwyn, and it came up, unsurprisingly, sad and worried. I went back to the fortune chart and said, how many days away is the full moon from now? Got a roll of a 3. It is a few days away. So then we go into role-playing where Elwyn says, Corin, I fear for you. These beasts you tell me of, they are not like me. They take great joy in hunting and killing. Corin replies, I know. But I will have Thorn with me. He's waiting in the woods outside of town for me now. If we can catch them during the day, But Elwyn cuts her off. They are likely still dangerous in human form. And at this point, if they are not hunting you, they will be waiting for you. Elwyn takes another deep drink from his mug of ale, thinks for a moment and says, I will go with you. If we can catch them at night, I can use my wolf form to help you take them out. Corin replies immediately, no, it's too dangerous. I can't risk losing you. Elwyn says, that's exactly why I have to go. Corin, I care for you deeply. You mean so much to me. I will not send you out to face this alone. So Corin thinks for a moment and says, so be it. Meet me at the blacksmith at dawn. She leans in and kisses Elwyn gently on the cheek and says goodnight before rising to leave. At first light the next morning, Corin meets Elwyn at the blacksmith where she collects her 10 silver arrows. And I did note that on her character sheet in here, under the arrows she has left, 10 of them are marked with S's, so I know those are the silver ones. And they head out into the wilds with Thorn. So, they are all together now. Now, I've already shown wilderness hex travel in the last couple of episodes, so I'm not going to go back over it again here for the journey back. I will make some broad rolls that cover major events over the days if I need to, but for the most part I'm going to start pushing forward to the next important scene. And the reason that I'm doing this is to increase the tempo of the game, and that's important for videos, I think, and to move the story along. And I'm going to go deeper into why I'm doing that, and I've made that decision in one of my upcoming videos on solo RPGs and tips. Just stuff I'm learning as I'm doing this. All right, so Corin and Elwyn and Thorn are traveling back to the old river fort to slay the werewolves. At best, the werewolves have Corin and Thorn scent, so even though the characters don't know, we need to know what the werewolves are up to. So I went to the fortune chart and I said, are the werewolves out at night actively hunting Corin? She has made an enemy of them, so I would say it's likely. If not, then they are planning an ambush at the river fort. So I rolled the 2 dice, got a 1 and a 5. So yes, they are actively hunting her at night. Let's see. Corin is trying to time her arrival at the river fort to happen at night. That's when Elwyn will be able to change and be of the most help to her, because otherwise he's not really a fighter, not super dangerous in his human form. He needs to be able to change into his wolf form to be of help. Both groups are hunting each other, expecting to come across the other group. Both groups have hunting abilities and keen senses on their side, hearing and smell, and so on. So I went to the fortune chart and said, do the werewolves find Corin and her friends first? I figured it's 50-50 on which group runs into which one. I rolled and got a 1, extreme no. So that's good. So either Corin, Elwyn, and Thorn are downwind of the wolves, or werewolves, or they see them patrolling in the distance and they have the drop on them. And that could be really important, and what's about to happen could go sideways real fast. So having the advantage here with an extreme no result, I'm going to have the heroes set up in ambush and get a surprise round before normal combat starts. They will also have advantage on their rolls during the surprise round. So I've jotted down the stats for the werewolves and got everything ready to set up. I've got the basic stats for Corin, Elwyn, and Thorn here. And I rolled for the werewolves for their hit points, which they have a lot of. And the way morale works in this, as opposed to basic fantasy where they just have a static morale number, in this, once they get to about half of their hit points, they have to make a morale check each turn, or each turn they take damage or after or whatever, to keep from fleeing. Now, this battle could really go a couple of ways. Number one, it could go really bad and Corin, Elwyn, and Thorn could all be dead by the end of it, in which case, that is obviously the end of the story. They could kill some or all of the werewolves, causing the other werewolves to rout and take off and survive. And if that happens, then that would also be the end of this story, because the werewolves are laying claim to this section of the forest as their hunting grounds. And the ultimate goal for Corin is to get them out of here, to make them flee, make them go away, or die. Either one, so they're not a danger to the woods where her and her family live. So that's one option. Two, by some miraculous luck, roll of fate, I could actually kill all the werewolves. I doubt it, but if she did, then obviously that would bring it to an end too. So one way or the other, this is probably the final episode in this story. If Corin survives, then we could go back and later and maybe bring her character in again. But each of these is supposed to be kind of a self-contained story between 5 and 8 episodes. And this is the 5th episode, and it just happened to roll to today as far as when this final showdown happens. Now, that doesn't mean I'm done solo playing. That means I'm going to move on to another game, another Oracle system, because I want to try several of them out, and I've actually developed some of my own. I've done a lot of work with Basic Fantasy and Dragonbane, because those are two that I definitely want out there. And I've got some surprises in an upcoming video, a bunch of stuff that's been sent to me or I got for Christmas. So there's a lot going on here, and I don't want this to drag out into a 25 episode thing. Not saying I won't come back to Old Swords Reign, but not right now. I'm going to experiment and learn with some different stuff. So what I'm going to do here, because I am a chronomancer in real life, I'm going to cast a spell that allows me to jump through time and have the board all set up for you guys to watch. And boom. And here we are. We've jumped forward in time to the ambush. So I have the 3 werewolves marked with a 1, 2, and 3 token next to them. They're not painted, they're just primed. Yeah, it is what it is. I have Elwyn over here behind this tree in werewolf form, or wolfman form. Thorn is staying close to Corinne, who is behind this rock over here. They are in hiding. He's staying over here to protect her as best he can. And we are getting ready for our first round. So there's no initiative this round because the heroes have the drop on the werewolves. So I would say we're going to start with Corinne, who has advantage. And she's going to fire her bow on number 1 using a silver arrow. And I think I will use this D10 to just keep track of her silver arrows used. So she got a 12 and a 12 plus her 7 for shooting is a 17, 18, 19. The werewolves only have a 14, so she definitely hit him. Not a critical hit, but she hit. And her damage is a D6 plus 5. So she did 9 points of damage to number 1. So we'll go ahead and mark that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's a pretty substantial hit. Don't know if she's going to be able to do enough, but that uses one of her arrows. Thorn is staying close to her. He can't really hurt the werewolves. And then, how far can he get? He can move 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can move all the way to there, but then he's going to get surrounded. So, he's going to move to number 3. Charge up on her and try to attack. Elwyn is a plus 4 to attack her with his claws, and thank goodness because he got a 16 for a total of 20. So he will be hitting with the claws, 2d4 plus 1 damage, and he gets 7 total damage, and that's on number 3. Now because he's a werewolf attacking with werewolf claws, his claws do actually hurt the werewolf, and they're not just silver. Silver or magic or other supernatural creatures' weapons can hurt them. So that is everybody. So the werewolves have a plus 1 to dex, so their roll for initiative is a 12, and Corinne's roll is an 8. And what is her dex? Her dex is plus 4, which puts her at 12, so they tie. And heroes always get the tie in my games. So our side's going to go again, and she's going to fire on number 1 again. She does not have advantage this time. It's just a regular shot, and it is going to use arrow number 2. She got a 15 plus her 7's a 22, so she will hit again. And she's going to do d6 plus 5 damage for another 9 points. That's pretty substantial. This is on number 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. He is pretty wounded, surprisingly enough. And Elwyn is going to attack without advantage this time. He's going to get a 12 plus his 4, which gives him a 16, so he will hit. 2d4 plus 1 damage again on number 3, and he gets 8 points of damage this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that brings werewolf number 3, so right here, and number 1, both below their morale thresholds. So they're going to have to make a morale check, which in this game is a wisdom check. And I think it's just a straight roll for werewolves. I don't think they have a bonus. No bonus to wisdom. So it's normal, which is a 12. So werewolf number 1, he gets a 13, so he gets it. Werewolf number 3 gets a 12, so she gets it. So they stay, they don't run. So werewolf number 3 will start with her. She's just going to attack the werewolf that's on top of her that she wasn't expecting, and that would be Elwyn. So she needs to hit a 14 to hit. Oh, she crits. All right, so double dice plus modifier. Their modifier is +1. No, they don't have a modifier. That's just 2d4. So she does 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points to Elwyn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew, if he wasn't a werewolf, that would have just infected him. All right. She is hiding. They were in ambush. He's been hit twice. I'm going to say it's very likely that he knows where the shot's coming from, but I'm going to roll, does he know where the shot's coming from? And I get a 4, so yes. So he will go towards her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and he just makes it. So these guys are fast, so they have a movement of 9. So he's going to run over there and he's going to attack her with a 16. Yep, +4, so a 20. So he is going to hit Corinne. And he gets 2d4 damage for 3 points of damage on Corinne. So 1, 2, 3. All right, and then my other one, number 2, which is this guy back here behind the rocks, he's going to go for the easy target and move right here. And move that up. And he's going to attack as well. He gets 11 + 4 is 15. That's going to hit Elwyn's AC. He's going to hit Elwyn for 3 more points. 1, 2, 3. This is going bad fast. All right, so we are back to top of the round, initiative time. So for the werewolves, they get +1. Ooh, a 2. That's horrible. And I got a 14 plus her 4 is an 18. So Corinne and her friends are going first again. So Thorn is going to move around. I would roll for attack, but he can't do any damage. All he can do is keep the guy occupied, and it allows Corinne to move away where she can shoot and not get an attack of opportunity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She'll stay there, and she will use her 3rd arrow. So we go to 3rd arrow, and then let's see. She is going to attack with a +7 to hit this guy. That's cocked. Ooh, well, she didn't crit fail, so she's not going to hit Thorn, but a +7 is going to be 10, 11, 12, which is going to fail. That's not enough. I'm going to have to use inspiration. I need to hit this guy. I need to hit him now. There we go. 19. So 26 total to hit. And she's going to do another 9 points of damage, which is enough to take him down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He only had 6 points left. He is down and out of the fight. So I'll just remove his token. And then we're going to come back over here to Elwyn, who's going to attack the one he's been attacking. He gets a 16 + 4 for a 20, so he's going to hit her. Let's see how much damage he does. He does 3, 4, 5 points. Not enough to take her down, but she is heavily wounded at this point. Alright, so we set those off to the side. Alright, so werewolves fight back. This could be really bad for Elwyn. He has AC 14. Nope, 16. The number 3 rolls a 16 to hit him total. So that's, no, 16 will hit him. Yeah. So he's going to get hit for another 2d4, which is another 6 points of damage. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if this goes bad right here from the attack from number 2, Elwyn's about to bite the dust. So, yeah, he gets hit again. It doesn't matter what I roll because he only has 1 left. So, Elwyn drops. He gets torn apart by the other 2 werewolves. Now, I didn't apply the burning an inspiration to keeping someone alive. It was an NPC. It was only for my character, and I think I might allow it because he's kind of become a character. He's more than just a shopkeep or something like that. So I could burn one. That's a tough decision because if I burn it to keep him alive, it burns it permanently. And he is at 0 hit points. So if I burn it, I guess I can give him D6 hit points. Alright, I'm going to burn one permanently. That one's gone forever. And he will still be up. Let's see how many hit points he's going to have remaining. 1. That was so stupid. That was horrible. So I did all that so he could have 1 hit point. But he's still up. Let's roll initiative again. Alright. The bad guy's got a 7 total. And Corinne and her group get a 19 for a 23. So they are definitely going first again. Let's see. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's going to try to get out front here. And Thorn is going to come around here with her. She's going to take a shot at number 2. It's the only one she's got a clear shot at this point. She gets a 7 plus 7 is a 14, so she just barely hits. But she does hit. And she does 9 points. So she's been that every time. It's been 9 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. However, that werewolf, number 2, is not down to his threshold yet. So, what do we do here? Yeah, he's got to go for it. Elwyn's going to take his last stand here and really try. Oh, he gets a 19 on the roll, so he will hit number 3 again. And he is hoping to take her out and help the woman he loves, and I rolled 2 for a total of 3. That will not take her out. 1, 2, 3. She still has 2 hit points left. And he's probably going to get toasted. But I do have to roll for her morale. So she needs a 12 or higher. She gets it, so she stays. And the morale hasn't been broken on number 2, so I don't have to worry about him. So she's going to attack back. Number 3, the female werewolf, is going to attack back. And she's going to get a 15, of course she is. And this is going to be the end of Elwyn. He dies horribly. Ripped apart by the other werewolf. Corinne screams out, "No!" But alas, it is too late. And now she's in real trouble. Because this werewolf is going to make for her. 1, 2, 3, 4, no problem. So yeah, he is going to attack. He's going to get an 18 on the die, so that's going to hit her. So 2d4, it's cocked for 4 points of damage. So Corinne is vastly taking a lot of damage here. And She is going to... Oh, well, she's going to roll initiative because we're at the top of the round. All right, so the werewolves are going to get a 1 for a total of 2. And Corinne is going to get an 18, so she's going to go first. Thorn is going to move in to do the same trick, try to keep this werewolf busy. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got one more. 6. And she's going to fire at that werewolf. She's going to hit with an 18 on the die plus 7. So, boom. She hits. How much damage does she do? This time she does 10 points of damage. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that werewolf's morale threshold has been broken. All right. So this werewolf over here that is extremely hurt, she is going to have to make a morale. Oh, she don't care. It's 20. She's like, I don't care. I'm fixing to kill that girl with a bow. All right. The other one that's with Thorn, what does he get? Oh, he gets a 5. His morale breaks. So he is going to try and run away. He realizes that this neck of the woods is not for him. Now, normally Thorn would get an attack of opportunity because he doesn't have ally adjacent. So we're just going to skip that because Thorn can't hurt him anyway. His job is just to keep him busy. So this guy is going to flee at full speed, and he runs off into the night. So that's another werewolf taken care of. All right. So she passed her morale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, she still gets to her. So she's going to attack, and she gets a 19 on the attack. How badly is Corinne hurt? Corinne takes another 3 damage. If Corinne takes another, I think it's 1 or 2 damage. Let me look that up. For the lycanthropy. Let's see if anyone, his attack is brought below their 50%. So yeah, if she takes 2 more damage, she'll be below 50%, and she will contract lycanthropy. And this is bad because she needs to move away to fire, but first we have to roll initiative, and she doesn't have Thorn to help her this time. So the bad guy werewolf, she gets a 7, and Corinne, oh no, she gets a 2. I really need to go first here. This is horrible. Actually, I also fired another arrow, so she's up at 4. Oh, I hate to do this. I'm going to have to spend inspiration. I don't have a choice. I've got to get a better roll. And I get a 5. Which is a 9, so she still wins. Which I guess she would have won with the other one. I don't remember what I rolled. 5, 9. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to give it to her. I don't remember what I rolled. I probably did that backwards, but whatever. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thorn's going to try to keep this werewolf busy. While 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Corinne moves away and fires at the werewolf. Which one was she? Number 3. All right. So number 3, she crits. Of course she does. Number 3 only had 2 points left. So whatever she rolls will kill. So she kills 2 of the werewolves and caused another one to flee, and he took off. She got down to within 2 points of being infected. Thorn fortunately didn't take any damage. Elwyn, however, even after burning in one of my inspiration permanently, was killed by the other werewolves, and Elwyn is down and out. She is distraught. Alright, so give me a minute to tidy things up here, and then we're going to look at how this concludes. Okay, so that was a pretty tough fight, and she did better than I thought she was going to do. But that routs the werewolves. It gets the werewolves either dead or out of the woodland where she lives, so she doesn't have to deal with them anymore. And, maybe they'll come back one day, maybe they won't. I don't know. We'll see. But let's look at what XP she earned. So, XP. Alright, did she survive the session? Yes, she gets 1 for that. Did she explore a dangerous location? I would say this is a dangerous location, so yes. Did she overcome a powerful obstacle, formidable or incredible? Yes, she did. Werewolves. Did she find any treasure of gold or better? No. Did she make it through the session without using inspiration? No. In fact, she lost 1 permanently. Did she overcome an encounter without combat? No, she did not. So she has gained 3 XP. Alright, so I'm going to bank that because she needs 8 to level up again. And that's going to be it for the XP. But so, in conclusion to that, she survived the battle, drove off or killed the werewolves, so that threat is gone. She lost her contact and the guy she was in love with, Elwyn, or had feelings for at least. So she lost him. He died even after burning an inspiration permanently. So that does kind of wrap up the story of her. Now she'll, at this point, go back to heal. She did not lose enough XP to get infected. She came very close, but she did not lose enough XP to get infected. That's the important part, because that would really continue the story of then having to go look for a cure. Which actually, per the rules, could be handled very easily, but I make it a little harder to cure werewolf lycanthropy in my games, because I think it should be. But that's just a condensed, short, I think it's 6 videos, but it's 5-session game that tells one confined little story of Corinne and her wolf companion Thorn. And, we introduced a guy with a cool backstory. I wrote a cool backstory for him, and then he got killed. So, that's the way that happens, right? But anyway, so she'll end up going back and being with her family now that she is safe and the woods are safe around the house. I could do a session where she goes back and maybe, investigates the river fort now that it's emptied and sees what she can find there, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. I may come back to this character at some point in the future, pick her back up, and play another solo game with her. But this really culminated when I realized how it was going and I was headed towards this battle, this session. I was pretty sure this was going to be the end of this story, and it is. So the story wraps up here, and if I ever come back to her, I will come back to her, and maybe some time has passed, or maybe, that's the great thing about, doing all the journaling, is I have the journal to go back and go through my notes of everything that's happened. So I could just pick up right after this when I want to. But I don't want to spend months and months on one game. I want to be able to experience different games in solo play and different oracle systems and so on and so forth. Because like I said, I'm already developing some of my own, and I'm drawing inspiration from the things I'm reading. And I'm going to go over this in my solo tips video that I'm doing, how I am kind of redesigning how I'm doing the videos, the format, so that I can have multiple stories going at one time. Because one bad thing about doing it like this, when you're doing it and you're doing it as a video series, is I play the game, I get to the point where I have to do the live roll, so the game stops until I can film it and actually do that. And when it's a week later before I can actually do that, I go a week where I can't play at all. So I want to have some other games going, and I have a way that I'm going to do that. I'll go over it in that video. But this was just a short 5-episode video series to show off Old Swords Reign, to show off I'm actually using a lot of the Oracle stuff from Dragonbane, and then some of my own stuff that I've done. But I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this inspires you to do some solo playing as well. And if nothing else, I've got a really cool NPC now that has a built-in backstory that I can drop into any of my fantasy games. So that's another cool thing about doing it like this, is you're creating content that you can then use later in other games. And it's not just, some random NPC that you made up on the fly. You've got an NPC that has a whole backstory that you can use to then spawn off other stories. So it's not going to be too long. I've got some more videos and stuff coming out. Like I said, we just passed Christmas. I'm actually filming this the day after Christmas. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, had great times with your family and loved ones. And that's all I've got for right now, but I will be back very soon with some more videos for you guys and gals. And until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.